What's up guys, in this video we're going to be going over how to train your lower body to hit a perfectly straight block leg. That's what we're talking about! Let's go! In order to get a strong block leg, we need to make sure that not only our hips but our back are extremely strong and mobile. You need to be able to brace for impact without crunching your QL or your psoas. Those are the primary issues that we see with a lot of throwers who have back pain when they hit a block, is that their hips and their lower back are extremely tight and weak. So if you're struggling with back pain, be sure to check to see if your hip flexor, QL, and glute are tight. There's a 90% chance that if you have back pain when you hit a block, it's linked to one of those three. Starting with the basics, we want to use the pigeon stretch to stretch out our glute, the couch stretch to stretch out our psoas, and the dumbbell GHD stretch to stretch out our QL. Once you're warmed up with those basic movements, we can then progress to some more advanced movements. And there's going to be a common theme with the rest of this video, and that is we're going to be performing in the unilateral stance as opposed to the bilateral stance. So the first mobility exercise we're going to do to improve the block is going to be the front split. We're going to be using this to really over-exaggerate that hamstring and hip flexibility, so that way when we get into the thrower stretch, we're already really loose in this position. You can use your hands to stabilize yourself if you need to. The next advanced movement is the thrower stretch. The thrower stretch is very similar to the front split, but in this one, we are keeping our back leg bent and our front leg completely straight, okay? Then, when we get our left leg out in front of us, we're going to raise our right hand up and then rotate around so that our left hand touches our right heel. Now the thrower stretch here is going to be essential to hit a nice block and a pain-free block as well, where we're working on keeping our front leg straight, our center of mass stacked here, okay? And when we have our left leg forward as a right-handed thrower, left leg is forward, right hand is gonna be up, very similar to if we were throwing a javelin, okay? So right hand is gonna be up or back, okay? And then we are going to rotate back with the left side to hit the heel here. Another important aspect of training for a better block is the concept of center of mass. Center of mass is essential to make sure that your chest and your torso is not leaning too far forward, too far back, or falling to either side. So the purpose of these next few drills is going to be practicing our balance and stability in that split squat position so that we can keep our power and weight behind the block and then slingshot ourselves forward once the block hits. If your center of mass is too far forward or side to side when the block leg hits the ground, you will not be able to utilize your energy efficiently. So the first drill we're gonna get into is the Bulgarian split squat scoop toss, okay? So what Nevin's gonna do here is he's gonna have his block leg, which is his left leg, forward, and then his right leg back. So once he gets comfortable there, he's gonna go down and up, and then throw me the ball, okay? And then as I'm throwing it back, he has to catch it and go back into another rotation. So what he's doing here is working on going up and down and being stable and athletic in that position to keep his center of mass nice and strong. So the whole idea here is as he's going up and down, his hips, his trunk, and his shoulders are staying in a straight line and he's staying nice and tall. It takes real athleticism to be able to do this motion up and down with your back leg up while simultaneously doing a rotational scoop toss. This next drill is going to be the split squat rotational med ball slam. Okay, so Nevin's gonna get his block leg out in front of him. We're gonna get this back leg a little bent so that we're simulating the throw. Let me get your left foot out in front of you a little bit more, okay? And now he's gonna be doing a med ball slam side to side, okay? So you see how it's a little hard for him to stay put. So he's gotta work on being stable in this position as he's going side to side, okay? So he's gotta work on that athleticism of keeping his center of mass stacked while keeping his back leg a little soft and his front leg straight and strong. So building up that endurance and that capacity to be able to slam side to side while you're holding that position is really gonna help you learn to keep your center of mass tall and chest strong. And lastly, we have the banded tennis ball toss, okay? So what we're gonna do here is this band is hooked up to this flagpole here. So this band is gonna be pulling him this way, and he's gonna be in that split squat block position. So he has to keep himself upright, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be walking around, tossing him this tennis ball to make sure that he stays nice and evenly balanced throughout the entirety of this drill, whether I throw it low, whether I throw it to the left, or whether I throw it to the right. He's just gotta stay nice and stacked in that position and be athletic no matter what gets thrown at him. He's gotta work on keeping his stability nice and strong. Now in the strength portion, we're gonna be focusing on strengthening our psoas, our quads, our hamstrings, and our glutes in order to get a stronger, more powerful block. The kettlebell hip lift from a pull-up bar is really, really beneficial as a javelin thrower. Not only are you working on your grip strength, improving your shoulder health, working on your spinal segmentation, but as your foot is fully extended outwards, you're working on keeping your quad flexed, your foot up, improving your tibialis strength, and then we're raising our knee to our chest, really strengthening and lengthening that psoas. And that psoas is essential to being able to decelerate upon the block. As we mentioned, our block takes place in the unilateral stance. As good as a traditional bilateral back squat is with our feet together, it is good as a javelin thrower to work on your strength in that unilateral position, okay? So what we're gonna do is for our main compound lift, we're gonna do a barbell back lunge. We're gonna put the bar on our back, okay? We get our feet set. Our block leg is gonna be in front of us, all right? Then our back leg is gonna be behind us. And we're just going up and then down. And we're working on keeping our chest and butt in a straight line so that we're nice and balanced. Okay, we don't want to be falling off to the side or leaning too far forward or too far back. The next section we're going to be talking about is power. It is essential to work on accelerating and decelerating out of that block stance split squat position. You can use a variety of exercises to promote this type of adaptation. Dumbbell split squat jumps. You could do max effort split squat jumps for height. You could do split squat depth drops. And the purpose of this is to really develop that athleticism in this position and make sure that when you land, you're not falling over from side to side. You're not landing with your chest forward. You're landing in a nice, comfortable athletic position and that you're able to decelerate and accelerate right into the other side. In order to get a more powerful block, we need to be explosive. Using max effort split squat jumps is great to see how high you can go and to feel the stretch shortening cycle. This is also really important because when you land, much like your block, you need to land with your center of mass stacked in between your legs. If you land too narrow or falling side to side, you're not going to be able to go right into your next jump. The dumbbell split squat jump is a great way to add more weight to the split squat jump. And it also improves your athleticism in the sense where you're not able to use your arms in this jump because you're holding onto the dumbbells. So it's allowing you to keep your center of mass stacked and only focus on using the lower half. So as we know with running and jumping, we're working on our acceleration. And then when you slam on the brakes, when you're done with the sprint, you're working on deceleration. Very similar to jumping. When you're working on jumping up, you're accelerating. When you land, you're decelerating. So what we're doing here is we're getting up on the box and we're landing in that unilateral split squat position. That way we're working on our deceleration so that we're working on absorbing the force in that unilateral stance so that we get comfortable and athletic in that position so that we're not falling over or landing with a collapsed chest, okay? That's gonna be essential for our ability to decelerate when the block hits and be athletic and comfortable in that position. And lastly is isometrics, okay? Once again, we're in this split squat position. We're gonna have our heels up, okay? That way, during this position, we're building our work capacity over a long period of time of building the arches of our feet, building our Achilles tendon, building our calves. We're contracting our hip flexors, and we're keeping our center of mass tall, okay? We're keeping this front leg strong, this back leg is nice and bent, and we're really just embracing the suck here at the end of the workout. We're gonna be sitting here for 2 to 3 minutes each side, just building this endurance in this split squat position. This is again great for our tendon health, working on our patella tendon, our Achilles tendon, our psoas, our hips, and just really spending a lot of time in this position is gonna help the tendons recover after a long week of training. Be sure to check out our technical video where we go over the best drills on how to improve your block. That's what we're talking about.